Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all have had a sumptuous lunch. So then the challenge of this session after lunch is to keep it interesting and engaging. And that challenge is actually your challenge because your participation in this session is what is going to make it interesting. We've got 15 minutes for the debate for the session. The topic you've heard is work from home versus work from office. Remote working or work from home is not a new concept. It was prevalent for very exceptional cases for over the last 2 decades, but mostly in the Western world, not so prevalent here. The pandemic accelerated work from home, and that was in vogue during the pandemic. We are 2 years, close to 2 years post the end of the pandemic. And companies are still grappling with the decision whether to allow work from home or whether to allow people to, ask people to come back to office. We've had speakers touch upon this topic in their topics this morning, so you can imagine how important it is. So without much ado, I'm going to open this up for your discussion. We will start with the team on the left-hand side, work from home, and if anyone can share their opinions on this. Thank you. Yeah, it's on. Thank you.
Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity, and it is a wonderful experience to be here. This work from home, it's like giving a privilege to a female who is, having a newborn babies. Okay, and then we have someone who her children are going to school or maybe a board exam preparation or something like that, which is very, very crucial stage of a woman. Okay, and every career, like every career oriented female, who work throughout, like, once they complete their degree and they start their career and they are at the peak of their career, and then at the second phase of their life when they get, a maternity break. So in India, it was not that, like that privilege was not there much. It's not about country, it's about, being HR. I understand that every female needs to go for a maternity break, and then, if we provide that opportunity to females who are, having a baby, small baby, which, allow them to work along with their,
So basically
priorities.
balancing your work
Yeah.
and your personal life.
And then they don't have to go through the again career break and get into job again. So that's
Sure.
how they benefit.
Thank you.
Work from
Thank you
home.
for your
Thank you so
opinion.
much.
Can we have somebody from this side work from office?
I think work from home or office is agnostic. So, irrespective while all my due respects, I am also a working mother. So, all due respects to females who struggle with their household plus striking a balance with the office work. I think work from office fosters a lot of collaboration, which is very, very important. That is one point, because when it comes to remote working, of course we did it in COVID times, but I think work from home is out of sight, out of mind. Sometimes it does happen, and we touch base this point also during our discussion, one of the panel discussions. So I think as a country we've progressed enough to have a lot of means touching upon the female working employees to manage things, and that's a career or choice that they have made for themselves. So
Yeah.
that
Thank
is
you.
my point to make.
Thank you. Anyone else from this side? Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, speaking of other things, I think I would like to highlight the commuting part. So someone stays, in a certain part of the city, goes to a certain part of the city, say from point A to point B, takes 2 hours just to, reach that, place, takes 2 hours, and, coming back takes 4 hours. So, that time can be used for something which can be done for some productive use. So I think it reduces the commuting time, and that time can be utilized for something else, or, if not anything else, for that professional, whatever the someone is
Commitment.
doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So the commuting is a point that is brought up here. Yeah. Can we have the mics here, this side?
Yeah, thank you.
I actually had a point regarding commute itself, so I think it's the best time. Hello, check, check. Okay. Yeah. So, work from office can still solve the commuting problem while focusing on the collaboration, is what I think, if we have hyper-local offices. So, there is there is scope right now. There are a lot of companies which have co-working spaces. If companies start opting for those instead of having their own space, there can be collaboration, but less of commute and less of time wastage in the commute. So I think that can also be a solution to still have work from office while reducing the
While changing the model,
challenges.
you're saying
Yes, yes.
changing the office model. Okay, thank you. Yeah, can we have a mic here? Oh yeah, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Namrata. I'm from TravelX. So I take care of recruitment. So one challenge that I face is when we are restricted to a particular location, the kind of pool that we get is very less compared to that if you're open to remote working. And this in turn helps the employer as well, because if I ask someone from another location to move to Mumbai, of course, their expectation increases with regards to compensation. However, if I'm okay to provide a remote opportunity, I am, saving a lot of cost for my organization as well. So I understand it helps that way.
Yeah. Do we have someone this side? Yeah, in the meantime, work from office.
Hi, this is Dinesh here. Are you working?
Yes, yes.
Hi. I would prefer work from office primarily because one, we have collaboration. Two, collaboration which means teamwork. Second, what we currently see that a lot of people in the corporate houses are undergoing mental health issues. That is only because of there is a lack of peer interaction. They are there in their own shelf.
Yeah.
They are all getting into the virtual world, and so for them it's like in the four walls.
Yeah,
So
the
I
physical interaction is not there.
Is not there. So if you, that's why you will see that most of the tier 1 companies or large consulting houses are encouraging teams to come back and work in office because, as I mentioned, collaboration, great teamwork, higher productivity, and a lot of companies, the new age companies are giving incentives for people to come back and work in office. So hence I would surely say 5 by 5 on work from office.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, can we hear some more opinions here? Yes, thank you.
Hi, this is Valentino. Some of the things that we were talking about, in the previous sessions were this new workforce that is coming into play, having a sense of purpose. They need a sense of purpose. They need flexibility. They need agility. And I think if those working in remote locations, if we are able to address those aspects, we are actually winning half the battle. When I myself had a team member who I was working with, for 1.5 years, I never saw his face. I mean, even when I moved out of the organization, I never saw him in person. But he proved to be one of my best performers because I think what really worked is, not just restricting my conversations with regard to work, but also understanding what is he doing outside of work and having relatable and personal conversations that could really, help him trust me. And I think if we are able to address that, and there are geographical barriers, right? You have good people available in different locations. If you're able to address that bit, if you're able to build trust, if you're able to communicate well, if you're able to, resolve ambiguity as much as possible, I think you do well.
Okay, thanks, Valentino.
Hi, this is Kunal from Amaha. We are a mental health organization. In fact, there was a paper we researched last week, which was presented at FICCI, which talked about the distractions caused by social media. I think the instances of that while you're working from home is far greater than when you're working at office, in office scenario, when you're under your boss's supervision. And that kind of, I feel, compensates for the lost time due to commute. So I feel the efficiency is far greater when you work from office because the instances of distractions for social media or any other kind of off-work communication is far less. And secondly, personally, I want to have a distinction between office time and work time. So when I leave office, I have finished work for that day. And then I come back home, right? Whereas if I'm at home, I'm with my family, so the lines are blurred.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes.
I would just like to take the same point what Kunal has mentioned, but slightly on a different perspective. Why we need to debate work from home or work from office? Okay, for a simple reason, we work everywhere. There is a category of people who are asked to work 24/7, and most of the people sitting here would also agree that they call it a "hamare company ka culture," and bosses are demanding. On a positive side of it, we will say we are passionate HR, we are available 24/7. So technically, whether you work from office or whether you work from home, most of the time mentally you are on the job. We have not been able to really make a distinction between personal life and professional life. Yes, we do study, we do have debates, we do have conversations, but technically there is a fear that if I'm not available, if I'm not responding, I may be out. So whether we like or not, we are responding to those professional requirements also. And it doesn't matter whether you are in office or whether you are at home. In office also, when we say work from office, how much of it practically we follow by leaving our offices at 6 o'clock? Very rarely. Most of them are late workers. Most of them will agree. I'm not saying everybody, but most of them. So when we look at a practical aspect or a larger perspective of it, I think we are doing everything. And India as a country, I cannot talk about any other country or region as such, we have very flexibly adopted both. When we want to say work from office, we will say, 9 baje aana hai, 6 baje jana hai. But then it never starts at 9, it never ends at 6. And when it comes to work from home, we say, theek hai na yaar, 1-2 ghante ki to baat hai. Sorry for the language, but then that's what I believe connects with most of us here. So I think this debate is incomplete if we do not look at both sides of it, because most of us here are in working mode on either sides of it. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a very good opinion, but by the way. Thank you.
Hi. Audible?
Yes.
My name is Neha. I work for Accenture Learning. One of the breakthroughs in my career happened because of a chance encounter with a leader, and she used to work in another vertical, and I was aspiring to be a part of that vertical in my firm. And that happened because I was in the office. So I believe when you're working remotely, the chances of these chance encounters reduce to a great extent. For me, the debate should be between working from home and working in a hybrid setup, not just working purely from office. So I also feel from a mentorship point of view, I have observed my seniors at work, whenever I've been at work. I follow a hybrid model. And that adds to the 70-20-10 rule that we heard during one of the panel discussions, right? For me, if I'm observing my leaders, how they conduct themselves, not just how they talk, just how they move around, how they meet with their subordinates, that enhances my skill, my learning. So yeah, that's my perspective.
Thank you. That's again a very interesting perspective. Actually, the debate time is running out. I can see 39, 38, 37 seconds flashing in front of me. So if we have just one more opening.
Hello.
Yeah, yes.
Hi, my name is Akshita. Talking about working completely remotely. I myself would prefer on a hybrid mode, wherein I know at least 2 days in a week I come to office, and if I want to have that one-on-one interaction and connect with either my colleague or my span of people being a HR VP. So I think that is what I would prefer more. And if I'm working remotely, I can have my timelines. When I start working from office, first of all, look out for a place where I have my proper work desk kind of a thing, and I log out on time and maintain a proper regime that I maintain in office. However, utilize that time which I was utilizing more on travel time, maybe on my health and on my fitness. And I think that is a better thing rather than every day traveling to office and losing out the time and money in traveling. Yeah, I mean, that be, I think employee is more productive if you work this way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we've had some very valuable insights. We've run out of time, sorry. But in our next break session, we can still discuss and interact with each other. We just shared some opinions after our lunch session to keep this team awake. I think it's a very interesting topic, very pertinent and very relevant. Under this, I would say calling it a parliament session, I have to come to a conclusion and have a decision. So both working from home and working from office have their own advantages and disadvantages. We've heard that, okay? And we are right in the middle of it ourselves. Working from home can offer us increased flexibility, reduced commute time, as someone mentioned, improved work-life harmony more than balance, and increased productivity. Many employees feel their productivity increases when they work from home, but it can also lead to isolation, difficulty in separating work and life and personal life, and there's a lack of structure. On the other hand, working in an office can offer improved collaboration, we heard that, improved communication, increased accountability, and access to office resources. So you can also be able to leverage on opportunities if you're in the office just by virtue of being in the office. The corridor conversations you have may trigger off something which you would never be able to do so if you were not in the office. And there are so many such examples we can get into. However, the drawbacks are the long commute time, lack of flexibility, and even distractions, right? We had one of our speakers talk about distractions. So yeah, I think these are things we have to keep in mind. However, I think it's between a company, what is the need of the organization, what are the needs of the employees, and then a decision needs to be taken what suits that organization and its employees in its business framework the best. Because there are some jobs where you just cannot work from home. A factory-based job, you have to have people come into the factory. During the pandemic, when nearly 100% of us were working from home, there were some people who could not work from home, starting with the essential services, which was still on, and people had to come door to door and give things and all of that. So there are some jobs which cannot work remotely. So in conclusion, I would say in today's time and age, we are in a post-pandemic, 2 years post-pandemic scenario. The work from office, or rather I would say the hybrid work model, has a lot more weightage over a pure work from home or remote working. So that is what would outweigh the working from home at this point of time. But like I said, there's no one size fits all. So it's between the organization and its employees and the needs of the business that will have to determine what works best for them. Okay? With that, we'll conclude this session. Thank you.